In this short video, I want to motivate the reasons for choosing physical rehabilitation as the #1 treatment in dogs diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy. Degenerative myelopathy is a slowly progressive, debilitating neurodegenerative disease beginning in the tail and the hind limbs and moving cranially along the spine. The discovery of a mutation of the superoxidase dismutase 1 or SOD1 gene in dogs with suspected degenerative myelopathy has allowed us to perhaps make some sense of the pathogenesis of the disease. The SOD1 gene protects cells from oxidative stress. A mutation in this gene results in accumulation of product because the gene no longer functions as it should, or it functions on a different substrate, which then causes the accumulation of the product, which damages the axons. It takes years of malfunction before the dog becomes symptomatic from accumulated cellular damage. And this could explain the poor response to numerous therapies and medications, because the damage has already occurred and it is irreversible. In a study conducted by Kathman et al., they looked at daily controlled physiotherapy and how it would impact on the longevity of the dogs in the study. So there were 50 dogs and they were divided into 3 groups. The first group got no change to their daily routine and no exercise. The second group received moderate exercise, and the third group received intense exercise and physiotherapy. And this is very nicely detailed within the article. And these dogs had suspected degenerative myelopathy because if you see the study was done in 2006, it was before the discovery of the SOD1 mutation. And so degenerative myelopathy at that stage was a diagnosis made by exclusion. So all of these dogs had to have had things like hip dysplasia and lumbosacral stenosis and spinal degeneration excluded before being included in the study. They also were of a certain weight. I think they were all over 20 kilograms, but it's very nicely described in the article. And very briefly, the results of the study showed that the group where they had little to no exercise had a mean survival time of 55 days. In our practical terms, once a diagnosis is made, the dogs could live anything from 3 to 9 months before becoming completely paralyzed or incontinent, and the owners opting for a euthanasia. The dogs that were in the group that underwent moderate exercise had a mean survival time of 130 days, and those that had intensive physiotherapy had a mean survival time of 255 days. You may ask, what is the significance of this? 255 days is still less than a year. But I think the significance, and I'll discuss it in the next slide as well, is that the dogs that had intensive physiotherapy, the muscles were strengthened, and therefore they were better able to cope with the degeneration of the neurological system. These dogs received a tremendous amount of mental stimulation, which kept them motivated. And they also had a lot of social interaction, and they were included in the family and included in day-to-day activities, which the people that conducted the study also say had a really big influence in improving the longevity of these dogs. So you might ask, why am I even talking about it? I would like to just say that in terms of the clinical application of this information, I have experienced that dogs that are diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy in the very early phases, just starting to toe drag, showing some little bits of ataxia, haven't lost too much muscle mass. These dogs that come to us respond very, very well to a physical therapy program. We get the owners involved. We apply gentle physiotherapy techniques and we teach them what to do at home. We create home programs, and we also focus on reducing the stress that is applied to this dog. And To date, the dogs that I have treated, that have come to me early and where the clients have really bought into the program, the dog that has lived the longest has been longer than 3 years since the diagnosis of degenerative myelopathy. So if we look at the normal diagnosis, or the normal longevity would be 3 to 9 months before euthanizing, we are getting these animals staying with us for 18 months and longer. And this allows time for the family to enjoy them a whole lot more, and also to prepare them for farewell.